a black bear jumps on him.
Bear mauls fishermen.
Bear pounced on the boy, apparently for no reason.
The bear had wandered into a residential area and was hit with a tranquilizer dart.
I'm scared. I'm scared. Maybe I should go home. How is life for the bears? How is life for the bears? I will never forget the first time I saw a black bear. It took a few glances at me as it was walking on the other side of the creek. I felt my heart beat somewhere around my throat from the excitement. After a few hours of exploring the area, I stopped at the creek and I was happy to spot the bear again. Only this time, we had the company of 3 hunters with their rifles on their shoulders. The bear disappeared so fast, I could barely follow it with my eyes. I wondered why it left so fast in the presence of the hunters, and why it had a fashionable stroll when it was only me looking at it with admiration. I was intrigued by the incident, and I'm fascinated by the bear ever since. How should we behave around them? Can we cohabitate with them, or should we just stop entering their territory?
Absolutely, I think it's possible for us to live with them. There are a few conscious decisions that we have to do as humans in order to make that existence more agreeable.
Well, I think it's absolutely possible for humans and bears to coexist, but there is a lot of onus on people to do their part. We need to make sure that we're not attracting bears into our backyards by having bird feeders, dirty barbecues, compost, pet food outside, and it's very important to secure our garbage and keep it indoors until the day of pickup. There's also a lot of onus on municipalities to ensure that our communities have a bear-proof solid waste management system. And also provincially, there's onus on the provincial government to ensure that bears are managed non-lethally as much as possible. Humans are encroaching on bear habitat, as we are on the habitat of all wildlife, and we're moving further and further into areas where wildlife lives. And again, that brings the onus back on us to be able to coexist with our wildlife. It's a fact. You know, it isn't going to change. We are going to move into wildlife habitat, and so we need to learn how to live with these animals.
We'd see them all the time playing as a kid. You know, we actually have an apple tree that grew up through our deck. We built the deck around, so there's apples on it. So of course there's bears always at the bottom of the deck, and you learn how to live with them. I don't ever really remember being afraid. Mind you, we were really careful, though we saw bears every single day. And though we saw them every day, I'm sure there are stories of them, but I never ever remember, I can't recall ever hearing or knowing anyone who was attacked by a black bear.
If a person encounters a bear in the wilderness, then we want to be respectful of the animal, let the animal know that we're there. First of all, before we even get to an encounter, we want to make some noise while we're walking and hiking. The best thing to do is sing, you know, because that's just fun, or talk, and that lets the bear know that there's a human coming. You can also crack sticks or make noise like when you're walking through the leaves. A lot of people like to wear bear bells. I personally don't. I'm not an advocate of bear bells. I don't think that they work. Bears are not necessarily in tune to the fact that bells are supposed to warn them that there's a person there. It's better to have sounds that a human would make. A bear already understands that. A bear doesn't normally associate a bell with a person.
Get out of here, bear, come on! Get out of here, bear!
if you encounter a sow and cubs, you also want to back away from that situation and let the sow know that you're not a threat. Talk to her in a nice, appeasing, calm tone of voice and say, hey, it's okay, we're all right. Back up. Avoid direct eye contact with her. Direct eye contact is a very assertive posture in the animal world, and so you want to appear as less threatening as possible. There's a delicate balance between all fauna and flora in the ecosystem, and each has a role to play, and if there is a loss of one of the plants or one of the animals, it creates an imbalance in the ecosystem. So yes, you know, bears and people are all interdependent on each other. Bears also have a lot of value. They have aesthetic value. We all love having bears in the wilderness. What would the wilderness be without bears? Bears have cultural value. They have spiritual value. In Whistler and in other parts of North America, police officers and wildlife officers are being trained in non-lethal bear management tactics, or sometimes referred to as bear aversion. And what that means is that basically we're teaching officers on bear behavior, how to mitigate a situation without using lethal force, just moving a bear out of a residential area safely back into the woods. We also teach officers how to humanely destroy a bear, because that's very important as well. If there is a necessity to destroy an animal, then it needs to be done safely and humanely. We're using human dominance techniques. So we're using a language that the bear already speaks. We're using direct eye contact, we're using a firm body posture, and we're using vocalizations that the bear understands. I mean, he doesn't understand our words, but he certainly understands a voice that, oh, go away, little bear, or get out of here, bear. He knows the difference, and so we're teaching bears through our dominance and actions that they are not welcome in human territory. Besides being equipped with our own human dominance, which is very easy, we all have that with us all the time, officers also have non-lethal deterrence. So they have physical deterrence and noise deterrence. Physical deterrence would include rubber bullets, pepper spray, and so on, even marbles from a slingshot. Noise deterrence would include cracker shells, whistle crackers, anything that makes a noise. And we can use these tools to extend our reach. And perhaps, you know, the bear is so far away that you can't communicate your human dominance to them. But if you can reach a rubber bullet and smack them on the butt with that, and at the same time be yelling and letting the bear know that, hey, that came from us, and we can reach you if you're 100 yards away, so don't come on to our space. The bear is going to learn that that's inappropriate. And hopefully, you know, that is just one more tool in the toolbox that will help us coexist with bears. So there are some other more controversial ideas or things that we can do to prevent bears from coming into town or to keep them on the outskirts of town. And one of those things would include habitat manipulation, where we would remove landscaping that is attractive to bears, for example, berry plants or fruit trees, and remove those from areas that are perhaps high conflict zones where we don't want to find bears feeding.
Thanks to many organizations and individuals involved in the process, the research, the learning, and the joy of observing the bears goes on. Sylvia Dolson is in the finishing phase of her book, Bearology, and it will be available in spring 2009. For more information on bear safety, visit www.bearsmart.com. There are other reputable organizations like the Safety in Bear Country Society, which has a similar mandate. Their education materials, including videos, are cross-referenced by many internet sites. For more information about them, please email Grant McHutcheon, biologist, at machutch@mars.arc.com. They state that in a bear encounter, our response can affect or determine the outcome. As in any area of life, knowledge and acting on that knowledge is our best weapon. And using non-lethal methods of defense, we respect ourselves and also the animals. Terry Pets will continue her journey as a videographer in shooting animals, but only with her cameras, and keeps believing in the power of knowledge, and keeps working on building bridges between cultures and perhaps all forms of life.
There's so many things that we can learn from the bear. They really are a great teacher, even just in the respect of enjoying life, being present in the moment. A bear's life is so uncomplicated. He's looking for forage, he's just being. People have such a hard time just being and being present. And I often sit in the company of bears and just thoroughly enjoy that time, and it gives me that stress-free moments where, you know, all the troubles seem to just go away, and I'm just there with the bear and just enjoying their company and being present.